we will be streaming on Captain Reboot, and we'll be playing some Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And I'm just waiting on my confirmation that all that is working. And as the stream spins up, there's normally a little bit of stall time. But it looks like we're doing okay. Nope, I'm not a rerun. Come on, do it right.
Get wrecked.
Yeah. There we go. So, welcome back. I have a crew here. We are working our way through the Waterdeep campaign, Dragon Heist, and so far, the party has accomplished a wild number of things, which I'll let them sort of reveal. Now, the last thing that happened was the party was involved in a bit of a caper. And during that caper, they broke into a noble household. While breaking into that noble household, they discovered there was a bit of a fight going on in Growlhund Villa, and the party took the side of the Lord and the Lady of the house and defeated some Zentarum agents. Now, this is a little bit complicated because the party has been friendly with the Zentarum. In fact, one of the party members' sister is a Zentarum agent. But during the combat inside, they found out that their good friend Deville, Starsong, is no longer in charge, or at least that's what they were told as that combat was engaging. Now, during this combat, Clarity was out running distraction, causing some of the guards and troublesome folks to be drawn away from the building so this could be executed. Once the Zentarum were dealt with, the party was urged to leave the estate and return in a day or two for the reward from the Lord and Lady. The half-orc head of the guard and bodyguard didn't want to try and explain your presence, as it might have complicated things, and the party agreed and headed out and made their way back to the tavern. Other loose ends that I'm aware of is they have their Nimblewright detector to try and find the Nimblewright, which had used the Necklace of Fireballs and supposedly now has possession of the Stone of Galorn. So, what I'll ask everybody to do is go ahead and introduce their character, and let's assume everybody has made it back to the tavern. Maybe half an hour, 45 minutes have passed. Give me a quick update on what you would be doing right about now. You've just gotten back from your caper, had just enough time to catch your breath. What's the first thing you're doing? And let's go left to right on the screen as we have them, which is going to put Urk first. Urk, what are you doing?
I feel like Urk is probably feeling pretty nervous about how his sister is doing and what's going on there, and he wants to know the details, and he's pacing, and he's eating a turkey leg.
Pacing and eating a turkey leg. That seems Urkish. Next across, we have Simone. Simone, what are you up to?
I have a feeling Simone would have sat down for a nice cup of tea after that kind of a day and just being like, there's a talking chicken. Not really any different than my talking crow, but there's a talking chicken.
That is true. There is a talking chicken.
Just taking some time. I'm talking to myself or the house spirit or whatever it is, and just being like, so it's been a day. Because I'm not social. I don't talk to real people about my problems.
I mean, some people just do better talking to themselves about the talking chicken. I mean, that's a lot of problems can be resolved that way. In the meanwhile, perhaps to expound on the talking chicken, Ashley, what are you up to?
So before we all walked inside, I'm gonna be like the last one walking in, and I accidentally closed the door on the talking chicken. Chicken's left outside at first.
That's where all foul animals belong.
But when I do realize that, I let the chicken inside, and so I'm kind of tonight was kind of odd. I did really think that we needed to go in there and try and find out, where this missing the stone is, if that's what that was. We kind of walked out of there almost empty-handed. So I'm a little mad, and Ashley goes for the mint wine bottle.
Sure. Sounds good. You've got some mint wine that you've purchased. Now you've put down a little bit of some casks yourself of various things, but that would barely be juice at this point. You've got a ways to go before you get to wine there.
Okay.
So this isn't your own brand. This is some purchased
someone
product.
Else's.
Unless you just want some mint juice, that you can have.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ask for a splash in my tea.
Yeah, it's the real stuff.
Water.
I do put a splash in the tea.
Yeah. So as we spice up the tea a little bit, that moves us over to Clarity. Clarity, you had a bit of a escapade as you were evading the authorities and other such people as your acrobatics drew attention outside the front of the house. But you've made it back, and now the rest of the party has arrived. What are you up to?
All right, so I was not present for a decent chunk of last time. So now I'm hearing that there's a chicken that can talk, and Clarity's all about that. Like, that Clarity's just jumping on that. She's like picking the chicken up, like stretching his wings out, like, oh my god, this is amazing. Just kind of hanging out with the chicken and trying to figure out what the heck this is and why it's so amazing.
So, Clarity, go ahead and give me either a nature or animal handling check. All right, a 4. This is an amazing example of a chicken. You are thoroughly convinced that this is just like a parrot, except it's a chicken that's learned how to talk. Some people teach parrots and macaws and such things to talk. Someone has taught this chicken to talk. It's a little foul-mouthed, but other than that, talking chicken. Anything else that you're doing?
No, I think I'm just preoccupied with this chicken.
Sounds good. And that'll bring us to Padinka. Padinka, what are you doing at this particular time?
Well, after everybody else is sort of settled, she's made sure Clarity's okay, because getting separated now gives her separation anxiety. She's probably fed and watered the dog and gone behind the bar and started to, pound out ideas for the bar, and is like, all right, the stone egg, laid a stone egg, chicken in the egg, chicken in the stone. She's brainstorming.
Sounds good. So you gotta work on that branding. So as all this is taking place, there is a bit of a knock on the door. And is the door generally kept locked or open?
I mean, I think since we put a lock on it, we've been keeping it locked. I would hope you are all locking the door. Ashley?
I run back to the wall. I run back to the door, and I do lock it.
Okay, so as Ashley's running back to try and Ashley gets to the lock, at the same second the door comes flying open. So Ashley throws the lock, but the door is already open, so it's just a matter of click and it's already swinging.
Does he take damage?
Oh no, nothing. I mean, maybe a bonk, but nothing devastating. Though the one coming.
Can I ready my teacup for an action?
Sure. Though coming through the door is someone who will occasionally open doors with enough force to hurt. Yagra is making her way through the door, and following behind Yagra, a female dwarven warrior, cleric, something wearing armor, following along behind. I don't think any of you have met Istrid yet, but she'll be introduced in a moment. Prior to that question, I do need to ask, the tavern has been in need of some funds in order to upgrade and upkeep. Has anyone investigated taking out loans for the tavern yet?
Nope.
No.
Not Clarity, no.
Okay.
Oh no, it's gonna be like Animal Crossing.
So, Yagra, followed by Istrid, come in. And Yagra's bellowing, Urk! Where you at, Urk?
Yagra! He's got like turkey falling out of his mouth.
The dog's
is
just
charmed.
eating at his feet.
Padink is charmed by how excited he is to see his sister.
I don't know if he's more excited to see Yagra or if he just like really needs to know what's happening. Like he needs to know the drama, the gossip.
Yeah, look, Urk, I need you to calm it down a little bit and watch your turkey leg. You're about to lose it to that dog. So we got some trouble, and we need a little bit of help. You might have heard things have gone tits up over at the Zentarum, and it's kind of time to scatter. So I've got a friend here, and she gestures in, and the dwarven woman steps in. Her name's Istrid, and you all need to owe her a lot of money right now. Don't really have a lot of time to explain, but don't worry, she'll take care of it. But we've got some documents for you.
Why do we need to owe anybody anything?
Yeah, I'm walking over and like wiping off the mint wine that kind of spilled on my shirt after the door swung open, and I'm just like, money for what?
Clarity's already holding out her coin purse.
So
Urk's like, my money.
so
I just made it.
So Yagra's like, if she explains it to you, that makes you guilty. If she doesn't explain it to you, it's just a favor. So you might not want the explanation. Are you sure you want to hear about it?
No.
All right.
I
How
don't
much
think
are we
we are.
talking?
How? Yeah.
A lot. It's a lot. But don't worry. It's just for the paperwork.
What's the paperwork?
Well, and she gestures over to Istrid, and Istrid pulls out a sizable stack of parchments. Yeah, well, this is going to be for some construction materials, construction labor, and and she keeps going on, and she lists enough to deck out a massive establishment. This is tens of thousands of gold worth of debt. Yeah, if you could just sign right here.
Clarity.
What
takes it
interest
and
rate?
So you look it over, and this paperwork looks as though the money has already been paid to you. Like, this is backdating contracts.
Yeah, but it says we'll owe her money. What is the interest rate we're paying?
It's legal. And when you look at
What
it,
did you do?
Not legal. How
What
much?
did you do?
So it's a high interest rate.
Yeah, that's cute.
So you took out a loan in our name, and you're expecting us to sign something.
No, questions. Yagra's like, no. Just sign. It'll be fine.
This has something to do with sing along. Something happened to sing along.
Guys,
you're kind of asking those questions you don't want the answers to. It'll be much better. Just sign. We'll take care of it. No problem. And she looks over to where Simone's snapping. Oh, mute.
Not
Mute.
being muted.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Jesus. No, the
All
problem
we're
is
seeing is
Yeah, I see the snapping. I was like, what?
no. The problem is sometimes when you guys are talking, it won't pick me up.
Oh.
That's why I'm doing this, because you
Why
guys
does
are going
it do
back
that?
and forth. Because it's Discord, and I am the ugliest cousin in this group.
Oof.
Anyways,
I think it happens
this
to us
face
all.
argues with that all over.
Look at Casey.
Wow.
that's what this turned into. So what I want to say is, okay, so evidently we got money, which we've never seen. That's fine. I'm completely used to people doing this to me. My problem is, you said that there's money that we have to have done things to this place. That has not happened. We have no money. And you want us to pay additional money on top of that back to you.
Oh, you won't need to repay any of it. This will all go away pretty soon.
Highly doubt
Mhm.
that. This is the type of
And-
stuff that I would run back with my old.
And
Skit.
who are we paying this money back to?
Like I said, you're not going to be paying anything back, but you do need to owe the money so that we can
Who
say...
does the document say that
Guys.
we pay the money to?
Oh, it's to Istrid.
Istrid. Istrid, do you agree we don't have to pay you any of this fucking money?
Oh yeah.
Guys, trust my sister.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine trusting your sister. I just want to make sure we're all clear about the terms because everybody's getting upset about owing somebody money that we never got. As long as that's the case, I'm fine with some paperwork.
Excellent.
But
excellent.
Istrid,
Got
if
some
you ever
paperwork to
come
sign that
back,
we
Clarity
don't
has
owe
also
it.
already signed it
Yeah, Clarity already took it and signed it.
That's probably like
I
the only
also-
signature we need.
with blood.
I also have
One.
my raven kind of fly over menacingly and be like, and if she ever backs out, I know how to get some eyes removed from a skull.
Yeah. So
I thought you were
Istrid's
gonna
like,
say the Raven signs it.
so Istrid's like, look, I just need some documents. Yagra said she could help out. It's a little bit of a,
Yagra, you signing this?
So Yagra signs as a witness, but basically,
No, that's not what I meant.
so Yagra doesn't have ownership of the tavern, so she has nothing to sign in on. And
Who technically out of us has it in their name, or is it just under Gemma's Angels?
I think it was all of you. It could just be under Gemma's Angels Incorporated, of which
It's
you are
Gemma.
the 5 parent
LLC.
residents. LLC. I'm
Gemma
not sure.
owns it.
So these things do happen.
I'm the document, but I'm gonna misspell my name.
Sure. So they get some signatures going on, and they get the documents, and then you can see she does a little, waits till the ink dries, and then she kind of gives it a quick rub to make it look like it's a little bit older, and then she shuffles it back in the papers. And Istrid's like, all right, thanks. You hear from me in a couple of weeks or months once all this blows over, but if anybody asks, this happened a little while ago. You've had this place for what, a couple of weeks, so maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and then Istrid says, if you have any questions, don't ask. So with
Okay.
Okay.
that, Istrid gets ready to leave.
About this whole DeVille being dead thing.
And as Istrid's kind of heading out, Yagra stops. No, not dead. He's just in custody.
Explains a
Arrested
lot.
with the
Like,
guards.
The guard. Yeah.
For
I don't think they're done listing the charges yet, but it's getting pretty long, so that's why we've got to do a little scatter.
Are
Is
we
that
gonna
why
be in
we
trouble?
just ran into some other folks from your gang before?
Well, that would be bad. Who'd you run into?
We're all
Urstel.
dead.
Earldred. Ursula.
Oh,
Grey?
Ursula.
Various
Earl Grey.
thugs.
so Urstel was the assassin, and at the mention of that, Yagra's like, yeah, that is actually kind of bad. He's working for Monsoon. See, it looks like somebody got kind of greedy, and when that happens, all kind of nonsense goes on, and you want to just keep your head down for a little while. They sort it out up top, and then business comes back to normal. But for the moment, Urk, I wouldn't take on any new jobs. Just,
no new jobs with the gang or no new jobs at all.
Oh, it's just with the network. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's just,
Let the military coup happen.
Burke is pulling the cloak over his head slowly.
So if they give us any trouble from any of the groups that are out doing other things, like if we happen to come across them,
I mean, you don't
and
want to
they're
make
impacting our other work.
enemies of the Black Network. There's a lot of them out there.
It seems like we may have already done so.
Well, there's personal grudges, and then there's enemies of the network. What did you do?
Well, were any of them left alive to tell?
So
I mean,
Or did
Urstel
we
may or may not be in
Urstel-
guard custody.
We don't know. We were not able to even take them with us. But they were involved in something that directly affected us.
No
Yeah, he
thugs
was just
survived.
turned over to the guards by a noble house.
That's not great. So look, just remember they have ways of telling whether you're telling the truth or not. So watch out for that if they're asking you questions. The Black Network is known. I mean, you owe them money. And if questions come up, maybe that's a great way to talk about it.
We owe them money? Is that what we just did? We owe the Black Network money?
Well,
I
Istrid.
thought
Only
we were
on-
owing Istrid.
Only on paper.
Istrid. Istrid's part of the network. And,
So if Istrid dies, what happens?
We're all adults. This is the problem with playing D&D when you're all adults.
She dies.
Who
You
has
don't
chain of
trust-
custody?
What?
Anyone.
Look.
Move on from this.
Try-
It's okay,
try-
Casey. We
try
don't have
to-
to think about this.
Try to forget what you're about to hear. Istrid needed to be able to show who owed her this money, because there's going to be some questions coming around. You are legitimate business people. That money now has a reason to be owed somewhere. Maybe it takes a little extra time for those supplies that we ordered to come in. Maybe they never get here, and then that debt goes away. But for the moment, that's really all the guard needs to know, is that there's a backing to that. No leg breaking involved. So that's kind of what that was. And I'm sure Istrid would be happy to make this worth your while once everything's kind of settled down. And she's good for it. As far as DeVille, he's in custody, so I wouldn't try and reach out to him at all. I don't think you get up to much. Any trouble that you might have, it's fine, just be honest. And whatever you got up to with Erstal, probably want to come up with a good story for that one. There's a lot of mix-ups happening. Chain of command changed. Might have been operating under different orders, or maybe it had nothing to do with the network at all. Wrong place, wrong time. But it's just where we want to be at the moment. You good, Urk? Staying safe?
Staying safe.
All right.
How do we know when this is all blown over?
It's never. But Istrid will
I'll
come.
call you. Don't call
Yeah,
me.
Istrid will come. She'll get the paperwork cleared up. It'll probably just sort of disappear. Wouldn't give it too much thought. But if anybody asks about it, that's what it's there for.
Right.
So with that, Yagra's getting ready to head out. You need anything, you can come see me down by the ship, okay? We'll be at the docks. It's going to be a little rowdy. That's the best way to keep the guard out there. Rowdy but no bloodshed. They tend to leave us alone then. No bloodshed. And
You
Yagra
can still punch some shins, right?
Oh yeah, punch away. So Yagra kind of heads out from there, and it's towards evening at this point. You've had a busy day. Is there anything that you would like to accomplish before nighttime and the next morning?
Ashley, I need some of that.
I go and get another bottle. I actually put 3 on the table.
And
Dinka just
Uh,
grabs one and holds it.
Tinkerer? Tinkerbot?
Tinkerbot?
Tinkerbell?
Tinker.
Maybe. I don't know if we have enough time in the day to do that, but
So you can go hunting for the Nimble, right? The detector works in the dark. You would not have had time for a long rest yet, so you'd still be at whatever hit points and spell slots you were at after the events that took place. But if you want, you can set out into the evening and go Nimble Right hunting. Would you like
Well,
to do
I'm
that?
good.
did it?
You're all. We're gonna just say that you used a spell or two.
So how is everybody else?
I just did some handstands. I'm okay.
I used one spell, so I could go. I wasn't hurt or anything.
Yeah, because I'm only... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm only down 5 hit points, so I'd be okay.
I'm down 2, so I'm fine.
I'm just checking my spell usage.
Could we do like a short rest to just get the rest of the health up for everybody? So maybe we'll just chill out. We don't have to go too heavy on the wine.
I don't think the health is the issue. It's whether.
Oh, the spells. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't lose any health points. It was spells that I was using, but apparently I did not keep good track of that. So I have.
Well,
one
to
missing
be
from level
fair,
2.
we didn't have anything tracked. Do you want us to take a long rest just so we start off at 0 deductions? Because
Sure, I mean,
we weren't playing through
doesn't-
the thing.
it doesn't really
last time.
affect anything.
Oh, we could just keep it in mind. So if you remember having used spell slots, you'll have a few exhausted. But it's basically, are you setting out at night or are you waiting for the next morning? Which would you like to do?
I feel like being out at night is kind of sketchy, and we're kind of trying to not be sketchy, right?
That's fair.
Fair point.
I'd rather be out at night.
Of course, Simone would.
You're the only one who doesn't have any dark vision.
Simone is the knight.
That's
Except for no, Ashley doesn't either, right?
Sorry, what? Night vision? I
Oh,
have a
yeah.
torch.
Yeah, no, that's not.
So
Just be out in the open.
So the majority
Good
of
lantern.
Waterdeep does have street lights and illumination. It's only certain dock areas, basically the seedy spots, that don't have lighting, and that's done in a number of ways. Actually, there's a brisk lamplighter trade. There are magics, continual flames, and that sort of thing. And there are a number of odd things that just tend to happen. There are hundreds of drift globes, little glass balls that have a light or continual light type spell on them that wander about the city, seemingly at random. During the night, they often drift out and hover over the graveyard area, and then towards morning, they drift back over to the town, but they can be found floating about just about anywhere, anytime, as one of the odd things that does happen in Waterdeep.
Well, I'll leave it up to you guys.
I think we should sleep.
I could do a short rest. Well, with long rest is totally fine. But I can regain all my points with a short rest anyway.
If the Nimble Ride is like in a home or in a public building, we're probably going to want to go during the day and not break in. So I feel like a sleep would be beneficial.
All right, well, that's a majority sleep, so.
Okay. So as sleep descends on several, I think we could maybe have a little breakaway Simone hunting action. Simone, are you willing to head out into the night on your own?
If I'm allowed to have the little Nimblewright tracker, which I do not have, but Tinka has it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just kind of see if we can pin down where it is.
Sure.
Yeah, I
I think
trust
you
you
should
with it.
sleight of hand it.
So give me a quick investigation, if you would, please. Oh, you crush it. So you head out into the evening and start prowling about the city. The Nimblewright detector's being a little finicky. You're getting some mixed signals from it depending on how you're moving it about. Eventually, you track down that there is actually 3, 4, 5 Nimblewrights within the city. Nim, that you are aware of, does not show up in the detector, but you know she's within the House of Inspired Hands. There are 3 aboard ships down by the docks, very fancy looking ships. And then there is 1 out in the city. The 3 in the ships cause you a bit of trouble because the signal there is so strong that it draws the detector in that direction, preventing you from getting a really good lock on the one in town. But you've got, now that you've learned to ignore those 3, you've got a pretty good way to track the 4th in town. But I think that would take you most of the night. The 3 that you find on ships
also named Nim?
No, excuse me. I had to get the ships here. 2 galleons, the Heartbreaker and the Hellraiser, as well as the Eye Catcher. They are galleon class vessels, very fancy, very nice. The Eye Catcher being the most impressive of them. They have the look of leisure vessels or entertainments. A lot of scroll work, a lot of decoration, not a lot of work being done.
Interesting. Are there any like ship hands walking around them that I can just check in with? And just be like, just being like, I just want to verify that the Nimble right on board stays on board.
So you sort of ask about their like Nimble right, and you describe, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, a little mechanical fella about that big. We've got one on each of the ships that, you know, they do odd jobs for us and they march in the parade.
I think that's all I need to know about them, honestly. I'd be like, okay, that's cool. I saw one down at the Tinker's place, and I just was wondering, like, if anybody else, you know, used them, and I'd heard something about you guys having something like that.
Oh, I don't think anyone else would have them. They're fairly rare. That's the reason we march them in the parade. Wouldn't surprise me that the House of Gond would have one. But
the House of Gond.
Yeah, sorry. But I doubt you'd find another one in the city.
Okay. That's I don't really want to continue on this situation. I'll just be like, oh, okay, that must have been where I heard was the parade. People were saying that stuff like that, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, now I'm gonna go try to tail this other one.
And now that you're able to eliminate those 3, you do find a pile of clothing that looks very suspicious. Now, Waterdeep has the Dung Sweepers Union, which is in charge of clearing all the waste away from the streets and dealing with the urine and the other such things that happen. So it's unusual to find a big pile of litter, and this is indeed a big pile of litter. Simone, what would you like to do with this big pile of litter?
And this is where the signal's telling me it's coming from?
It is spinning in that direction.
I want to stealth.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. Okay. You sneak up on the pile of clothing.
The clothing's like, ooh!
Oh gosh, does it make sense for me to try to talk to this thing or not? So I'm gonna try to like gently move the clothes, like the wind is blowing it away, and try to like, can I perceive anything inside of the pile?
So it's a pile, and there's definitely something in there. But if you try and move it away, you're not be able to like whoosh and, you know, pull it away because it won't feel the wind.
And I'm assuming it's too big for me to just lay on top of it.
Oh, you could tackle it.
No. I mean like tackle it so nothing can get out from underneath.
You could, with a proper athletics check, you could do that.
Can I investigate this pile of litter?
You tackle the garbage.
So it's clothing, and it's piled up, and you're pretty
sure the
Nimble investigate is not.
Yeah,
okay,
you're pretty sure
fine.
the Nimble Right's underneath it. So.
You know what? I'm going to ask if there's anyone around that is a friend of Nim.
Okay. This sounds like
I don't know
trying
if
to
it can talk or not.
persuade it to be friendly.
I would say yes. I wish I wasn't alone, but
Okay.
Ooh, dang!
That's pretty good. So you ask, kind of, expecting the answers. They're a friend of Nim.
I'm also gonna have myself being really, really small. Like I'm gonna, cause like I don't want to be like all tall and imperious. I'm gonna be like kind of crouched down and stealthing around and being like, "Oh, is anyone a friend of Nim?"
Okay. So you see, kind of emerging out from underneath it, a very roughly made Nimblewright. Now you remember Nim being very intricately designed, very well made. This is more of a simple puppet that can just move. And this creature pokes its top half of its body out, and you can see that it's put a cloak around itself, and then piled things on top of itself. But now you have a little wooden face looking towards you.
Can we keep it?
Oh, I'm probably going to try to be like, we were talking to Nim the other day. If you're a friend of Nim, and was Nim a she or he out of character?
Nim's a robot.
Female-ish, she.
Female-ish. Oh, I'll just be like, Nim was mentioning that they had a friend and they were really, really missing them. I'm gonna try to encourage. My end goal is to try to convince it to like go back to Gon to at least see Nim.
Okay. How about one more? Sounds like you're still on the persuasion side, so one more persuasion. Okay. So after the conversation, you managed to convince this Nimblewright to follow you, and that it should go back and see Nim. And it does so. And basically, what emerges from the pile is the Nimblewright, which is about a foot high, wearing a cast-off cloak, which is about 4 feet long, and carrying in one hand a folded-up piece of paper. Now, its hand is incomplete. It's basically 2 fingers that sort of like that, and it's kind of wedged between there. So it's carrying a piece of paper like that.
Does it have a thumb, or is it just the 2?
It's just the 2. It's a pincher that can close. So no
like
thumb.
Like a chameleon.
Yep.
So like this?
Yes.
Can I... Oh, gosh. Do I want to wait till we get back to Nim, or... I think I want to wait till we get back to Nim, but my thing is, like, I'm going to go back to the Temple of Gon, and then I want to ask it about the paper to see if I can see it.
Okay. So at this point, I think most of the night has been used up. So you did some tracking, you talked to some dock workers, you tracked down the Nimblewright, you had this conversation, and for convenience sake, we'll say that the tavern would be...
We can say that I sent my eagle, or my raven, back over to the thing to let them know and to meet me there in the morning.
An eagle.
That raven got an upgrade.
Evolves.
I bleached its head.
Ravens evolving.
So for the rest of you, as you are expecting to wake up about 2 hours from now, but you just keep hearing this tat 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 on the window pane until one of you lets the raven in, who
the
gives
dog has been barking at it too.
Yeah, it's just back and forth, tat tat, bark bark bark, and the chicken's just like, what?
Someone gonna get that.
So, and the chicken's like, really? All right, fine. And he wanders over and he comes right up next to Ashley, goes, cock-a-doodle-doo, damn it! Right in your face.
Oh.
Does this chicken have Tourette's?
It's got a foul mouth.
What? What was that about?
And it points at you with its feather thumb, which all normal chickens have. Like, and you look over and the raven's there, and the mastiff's like, woof, 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 woof. Sorry, Irish setter?
Wolfhound.
Wolfhound. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof, woof.
Okay, alright. Open it up, and I'm like, what's going on?
And Simone, can your raven talk, or is this pantomime time?
I think the raven can mimic noises.
Okay.
We lost one person.
Come back.
Oh no. Okay.
We gained a person.
Okay. Everybody's in the wrong spot for a few seconds, but that'll fix itself in a minute. Raven mimics the information given to it. Nimblewright found, come to a location, and hurry up, because I think Simone knows you're a little slow getting in motion in the
Yeah,
mornings.
Padinka just came down the stairs like, why the fuck is the dog barking?
Because you're a terrible dog owner and you didn't feed it last night. But I'm not there to tell you that.
Wolf.
So like, is the sun like kind of coming up, or is it still like dark out?
It's pre-dawn. Like
Pre-dawn?
it's got that like, wow, it is cold and sort of a little gray. There's the
See the stars up above.
yeah. So
As soon as I see the raven, I know what's up, and I'm just like, God damn it, Simone. I
so
go wake up the other two.
Yeah, I need to pick me up. So as I'm getting myself together, I do go and see like a glass that wasn't finished of the mint wine. I chug that real quick because I needed a little pick me up.
oh yeah, that is exactly what you want in the morning.
Hair of the dog.
Right after you brush your teeth, you just straight up with the mint wine.
Yeah, no, I dip it in first.
I mean, the mint wine actually goes well with toothpaste. It's sort of a
Yeah.
mint on mint flavor.
It's not like orange juice after.
Yeah, you don't want to do mimosas after brushing your teeth.
No.
But so as you head out into the streets and everybody sort of catches up, Simone is leading this little cloth train down as the Nimblewright just sort of marches along. It's still got that little piece of paper or parchment clutched in its fingers. And it's yep. 3 feet of train coming after it. And yeah, what are y'all doing as you meet back up?
So we see this cloth parade going down the street.
You do indeed.
I'm gonna probably whisper to Badinka that like I want to wait till we get there to figure out what this paper is, but we're at least getting him back to the temple.
Wow. I
So
am thoroughly impressed, actually. How did you do it?
It's not a person.
Oh,
That's
so you
fair.
can talk to it. Okay, makes sense now.
Urk tries to poke it.
So
Clarity smacks his hand.
So Urk, when you go to poke it, it doesn't seem to acknowledge what's about to happen until it staggers to the side, and then it looks up at you like expectantly, like.
He pats its head.
And then it sort of nods and continues following after Simone again.
I love it so much. I want to keep it.
Is this the one we were looking for?
Sure. The only other 3 that were in town were on ships, and
There were
they're there
more?
to fix the ships up. Yeah, fancy ships, people with money. I didn't really want to spend too much time talking to them. They parade those things around like they're fucking animals.
Okay, but this one's acting like not what I expected. I would have thought that. I mean,
I think
know.
somebody was just using it as a tool. I don't think it was inherently evil. I think it was just in the wrong hands.
I think
Okay.
the important thing is to let it go and see Nim, and then hopefully we can find out a little bit more about what was going on, because it could be one of the other ones, but this is the one that was missing from the temple.
Okay.
We did say we'd bring it back.
Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
is
and
it, like,
Clarity
morning
to
now?
you. Clarity to you. I'm gonna be like, Clarity, it's Nim's friend.
I'm also Nim's friend. I'm so excited.
Any
And-
friend of Nim.
He's a friend of mine.
Anyone who is trying to get a little better grasp on Nim's friend, the Nimblewright, please go ahead and roll me an insight.
hold on.
Urk can't even see it.
Can't see it. You patted it on the head.
Clarity
I rolled a
is
4.
all in on these nimble rights.
Yeah, I got no insight.
Okay.
Listen, Clarity might have like very little attention, but whatever she's focused on, she is focused. Like this girl got ADD bad.
So Urk, Ashley, Padinka, I feel like you're just not figuring out the nimble right. Perhaps you don't really key in on what's going on there. Simone, you've sort of figured out how to make it do what you want. But Clarity gets in its face enough that I think she sort of figures out that if you interrupt it, it gets confused. And it basically does whatever you tell it to, but it interprets those instructions better than you would expect like a tool to do. So it's semi-intelligent, but doesn't seem to have any emotions, morality, anything like that. And I think, Clarity, you might have discovered this by saying something to it, like, I can't wait to do this and this and this, and it just started doing those things immediately, forgetting about what it was doing for Simone because you said you couldn't wait. So it took your instructions literally, started doing those things immediately, and completely forgot about keeping up with the rest of the party.
I love it. I'm going to instruct it to hold my hand while we walk.
Okay. So you do that and you start moving your way along again. That sort of continues. Now, it's taking a little while to traverse the city and, keep the nimble right in motion. So morning is opening. The Temple of Gond is open for business. There's a couple of people lined up with urgent things that need fixing and doing. So little bits of tinkering to be done. An adding machine that, isn't adding anymore. The abacus doesn't slide the right way, that sort of stuff. 2 + 2 keeps coming up 5. What's wrong with this thing? And you arrive. Now, Nim is currently grounded, super duper grounded. In her room, secret workshop has been emptied out twice and under lock and key. What are you all planning on doing? Are you sneaking the Nimblewright in to see Nim? Or are you working with our Dragonborn priestess?
It's morning, you said. People are coming in and out?
It is morning. People are starting to head into the temple.
Were we supposed to do this secretly? Like, were we supposed to not let people see the other Nimblewright?
I don't think there was any instruction to that end. I know that she believes that it should probably be put down, which might be the only issue. But I think we might be able to convince her to have one last goodbye to Nim, at least.
Can I try to stealth the little Nimblewright in while we let Padinka go and talk to the lady?
Sure. It's a foot tall and folds up pretty small. You've got a cloak you can wrap it up in. So if you're willing to carry it in, you could just bundle it up like any other device.
So you want me to just get you into Nim's room?
Well, let's just talk to her.
Sure.
And see if we found the Nimblewright, if we can bring it to see Nim.
Okay.
So
that seems a little... If we found it, wink.
Oh.
Why would we come back if we hadn't?
But she doesn't know if we have it on us or not.
Yeah, okay. Let me just talk to her.
You got it.
Yeah.
So Valletta is the Dragonborn priest. She's a bronze Dragonborn, and she is, available. She made an arrangement that you would try and deal with the Nimblewright concern, and when you pass along your names, she's very quick to clear her schedule and invite you into her office.
Clarity, before we go in, are you sharing your information with Padinka about how the Nimblewright works?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because what we may want to do is, if anybody else has been in to see Nim or inside of the Temple of Gond, they may be something to be concerned with. Because if it was always with Nim, then
who let it out?
Who took it out?
Well, it's possible. I mean, Nim likes to go explore. It's possible that Nim took it to explore outside of, their room.
I don't think we know that yet.
We don't know that Nim likes to explore?
We did know that she was out on the ceiling, on the other word for up top, roof.
Right, but we don't know that Nim took this other Nimblewright with it.
Well, we
Where
don't know
you
that, but we
have
also
them.
don't know that it stayed put.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's more information to be gathered.
Okay, you're right. So, hey, Valletta.
Hey, have you had any success tracking down the problem?
We definitely have a lead. I think we've identified some interesting pieces about the Nimblewright, though. From what we can see, it looks like it doesn't act independently of other instructions. Like, it needs instructions to know what to do. And that it doesn't look like it's acting independently to be evil or villainous or malicious. It doesn't look like it has like a destructive intent. It just looks like somebody else was using it. Under the right guidance, it might be not a dangerous thing.
Well, that would be a relief. If it's still a tool and not host to anything nefarious, then we can continue to study it and perhaps produce more if they're to prove to be useful.
Is there any way to identify that through magic or whatnot, that we might be able to tell if something is in there or not, in a sense?
We can detect the infernal and the demonic, that sort of thing.
That's me.
Well, part of your makeup, perhaps, but I was thinking more of those born on the plains of Avernus and such. Those that have no place here in this world. That we can look for. To determine a creature's intent, though, that's not so easy. I couldn't say whether it was good or evil any more than I could say whether you are good or evil.
Fair enough.
That is the benefit of the freedom that the gods give us.
I'm going to sort of side glance at Simone to see if she wants me to reveal it or if she just wants me to try to get Nim to get into Nim's room.
I'd like to see the paper before we do that. Like, that's kind of out of character, but
okay, so you're giving me the eye of like, don't reveal. Is there any chance that we could just go up and talk to Nim again real quick? I know she only does like yes/no answers, but I think having some more information from her might be useful.
So go ahead and give me so someone please give me a deception with advantage for the party's attempt to not reveal that you have the Nimblewright in hand.
So can I, for this, like pass it over to me?
I have a 3.
I got a good one. I got 6.
Okay.
Yeah, someone with charisma.
Sure. Go for it.
So we'll do a quick pass over.
So
Can
I step outside?
advantage?
Can I step outside? Yeah, I would totally give him advantage for that.
Oh yeah, you have advantage. So it is a 14. It is a 14.
You rolled a 3.
Come on now.
The Nimblewright just tumbles out of the sack.
That is
Oops.
that is good enough. Now Valletta knows something's up. She's well aware that you're doing something. But she doesn't maybe think that you have the actual Nimblewright in your possession yet. And she gives you the look. I understand that a creation can give every sign of being alive. But do keep in mind that this is still, most likely, a tool no more alive than a sword or a dagger might be.
Or a teddy bear, which is a companion to a child, which is what Nim is.
I understand. I just pass that caution along to you because some of Nim's creations are quite endearing.
I totally understand.
And then with that, she lets you on your way to go and see Nim. She gives you the key to get into Nim's room and gives you the instruction. Do make sure you stand with one leg in the door as you open it. She has tried to dart out a few times.
I will catch her.
Just like a kid. Like if you owned a pet, you're like, oh yeah, just like with a cat.
I want to be the one to open the door so that I can stand there with my arms out, ready to like catch her.
And a big old hug.
Hell yeah.
So you go ahead and you go upstairs. You go to open the door, and as you go to open the door, you're sort of looking in, and Nim is there waiting. And as you open the door a little further, Nim starts moving towards you rather quickly, and you realize that she's tied one end of a sheet to the bed, one end of the sheet to the door, one end of the sheet to the post, and as you're opening it, sort of slingshotting her towards you. If you had opened the door very quickly, she would have like zoomed out, but since you did it closely, she's just sort of like slowly scooting towards you.
I'm
I pick her up.
gonna tell her I have something I want to show her before she leaves.
And she sort of like sheepishly nods and undoes the slingshot and puts it aside, but you can tell that she's being careful so she can reset it for later, and then she moves into her room. Now her room is very, very barren. It's just the bed, and she's disassembled the bed. So the bed is now components for her experimentation. You can see a small flying device, which is basically an umbrella parachute sort of thing going on. But she looks up to you expectantly.
Okay, so can we all come in the room and shut the door?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna unbundle the other Nimblewright, and I'm gonna be like, we brought him back because we asked if he was a friend and of Nim, and we said to come and see you. And I'm also gonna look at the other Nimblewright and just be like, since we brought you back, is it okay if I see what that piece of paper is?
And as you bring the Nimblewright out, Nim gives a quick clap, and you can hear her a little cack, 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 cack. And then she looks over towards the Nimblewright, and she holds her arm up, and she starts tapping really quickly on her hand, and the Nimblewright reaches its arm and taps again. They seem to be talking in sort of a quick tap fashion. And as they're doing so, it holds up the piece of paper towards you, and you're able to take that if you choose.
I'm taking it.
So you take the piece
I
of
am
paper.
Totally taking it.
It's folded up, so it's probably yay big, but folded up, it's yay big. You unfold it, and a quick turn one way, turn the other, and it appears to be a small map. An overhead map drawn fairly quickly. It has written on it a name, which I will find in just a second, and a little path sort of drawn out with some landmarks drawn on it, indicating where to go. The name written on it is Grinda Garloth.
Man, sucks that it wasn't Glinda. You know how cool that would be?
Grinda the Good Witch.
Hey.
So, okay, are you continuing on? Sorry.
And that's basically what you see. So a little map with a name on it. If you had a little bit of time and a map of your own, you could probably line this up and figure out where it's pointing to.
So I'm gonna ask, is Grinda Garloth someone who was telling you to do things? Or is that someone you're supposed to find? I'm gonna kind of pause between each one so that way I can respond.
There's some tapping back and forth between the Nimblewrights, and then the more expressive of the two, Nim, sort of gives you the can't explain gesture.
Hey, Nim.
Nim looks over at you.
Can your friend describe who gave them the paper?
Can they draw?
And Nim tries that for a while, tapping back and forth. Before she goes over and just sort of writes out a word, chalking on the ground. She shouldn't have the chalk, but she does. Master. M-A-S-T-E-R. And then draws a symbol that looks like a person. But it's just a stick. It's stick figure-ish.
I'm gonna point to it and I'm gonna be like, Grinda?
And Nim just sort of shakes her head. And
Okay.
gives like a it points to Master, and it points to you, and it points to Master, and it points to Clarity, and anyone else who's given it instruction. Even Urk gets a point to, because Urk did interrupt it at one point. But it doesn't seem like it can distinguish between people.
Cool beans.
I'm gonna go into my scroll case, and I'm gonna pull out the like the doctrine of the town, all the rules and stuff, because it's got to be like a decent amount of paper, right?
Sure.
And I'm gonna hand them over to Nim, and I'm gonna be like, make sure you hide these, but here,
And
so that she can have them to use.
Nim's all about it. Nim's gets them folded up, starts tears it into very precise pieces and starts sliding it. Actually has to cut it because it's parchment, but starts sliding it in between different stones here and there. So like all throughout the room there are now little caches of parchment and other such things. And you suspect there's probably still a few hidden bits here and there.
Oh, of course, but I just want to help.
Sure. Corrupting the youth.
Does
Okay.
anyone else have any questions?
Urk tries to poke Nim.
Nim slaps at you. So whereas the other Nimble Right was very passive, Nim's like, what?
I
Good
think
job.
we're
You tell him.
done here. Nim, it was a pleasure seeing you again.
Can we leave the friend in here alone with him and then tell the person that we found the other nimble right in the room with Nim?
I was gonna do that.
I feel like
Okay.
that would get Nim in trouble.
No,
Well,
'cause
Nim was locked in the
brought
room.
it in.
I was gonna cop to the fact that we brought him in. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to lock the two in the room, and then you're going to go
I'll
tell
stay with them.
Valletta that the Nimble Rights are there.
Clarity.
Clarity, stay in guard.
Okay, Clarity stands guard. Okay, yeah. So when you do that, Valletta thanks you. I do appreciate that. Do you know, did it cause any trouble or any more trouble?
Hell, but it doesn't seem to distinguish between people. It can't tell, like, the difference between you and me, which is problematic, for finding who was using him. But we do have a name to track down, so hopefully we'll be able to figure out if there was anything else that happened. It honestly looks like Nim just, has a sort of language with him. And I don't know why I'm calling him and her, but Nim and Bell, and here's the I'm gonna hand over the device to her.
Mhm.
And say, if they go missing, it's gonna be hard to track one from the other, but this can help.
Free nimble
And-
rights on ships, though. So if there's other
Yeah.
nimble rights in the city, it affects it.
Yeah, it's not 100% foolproof, but it's one way of tracking them if you ever have issues with them again, and you can always call us if you do too.
Excellent.
Can I also just ask her about the lord and the lady of the house, and being like, have they ever been here? Has a man called Ursel ever been here? Or has somebody named Grinda Karloff? And I'll describe them as I know, but Grinda, of course, I don't know anything about.
So Valletta will go and check the rolls for you. That'll take a little bit of time. And as that's happening, she also gives you a voucher for your reward, which I believe was somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 gold. I'll get the right number for you, though. So you will have some gold coming to you. That's a voucher you can cash at any bank when you're ready for it. And also do a bit of research. Could I have a investigation to see how well you narrow down what you might be asking for between the Lord, the Lady, Erstal, and Grinda?
I have a 4. Does anybody beat a 4?
I have a 6.
Well, go investigate.
Investigation,
Nice.
indeed.
Yeah,
got
do
it. So Valletta comes back fairly quickly. I don't believe the Lord and the Lady have been here anytime recently. We have done some work on their villa over the years, but nothing noteworthy or out of the ordinary. Grinda, however, maintains a apparatus, one of several in the city, that is capable of diving into the water. The proper name for it is a apparatus of Kowalsh, famed inventor. It looks a bit like a lobster or other such device, and can move about underwater.
Y'all better tell Clarity about this, because I'm loving it.
So I think you would have been brought down for the information dump here. But yes, Grinda maintains a holding down in one of the rougher dock areas, and she does a bit of treasure hunting in the water. She's a little bit of a unpopular mage in town. I don't know if you want to associate with her publicly.
If you've been doing work with her, it might be advantageous to maintain control, make sure that the control of those 2 nimble rights are there. And I'm gonna show her the little map thing with her name on it. Be like, this is all we know about her, and that the second nimble right that Nim made had this on their person, and we don't know why. We don't know if it was somebody else, or if perhaps it had to do with her. But did I find Belle down by the docks? Was that where that pile of clothing was?
No, she was further south in the city.
Okay.
But now that you have Grinda's information, and you now know where she should be about in the docks, and you're looking at the map, yes, that would lead basically directly to the dock area and to where Valletta has described Grinda has a establishment.
Okay. It looks like somebody was trying to find her, at least, or she was trying to have the nimble right come back.
Or she found something and they're just trying to get something from her.
Well,
it could be, which is why I have a feeling we'll go talk to her. But
I was actually just about to ask if you wouldn't mind just looking in on Grinda and making sure the nimble right did not get up into any mischief while there.
Didn't you just tell us not to associate with her?
More of a walk by sort of thing.
Okay.
I didn't realize that it might have been involved with Nim's friend.
Just make sure the house isn't on fire. Got it.
Yes, that. And in the meanwhile, we'll take a look at Nim and her friend and see what we can figure out. And hopefully we'll have a new tool soon. We've been working on duplicating the Lantanese technology used in creating a nimble right. Perhaps this will give us some insight. And
we'll have fun with them both.
Thank you. And with that, is there anything else the party would like to do at the House of Inspired Hands of Gond?
On the way out, Urk is feeling a little concerned about the dog not having breakfast, and he's kind of scoping out food carts.
Oh, there's tons.
He remembers the turkey situation, and he's just, he has a little bit of empathy.
Do we have like pork tacos, like pork belly tacos?
Mostly fish down in Waterdeep. It's Waterdeep, so more fish than pork. But if you're not into fish tacos, you can pay a little more for a pork taco.
I'll go with fish. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you're not happy about it.
I mean, be angry about it.
I love fish. Ashley's not the biggest fan of fish.
Okay.
Urk shares the taco with the dog like Lady and the Tramp.
I'm pretty sure you shared the turkey leg like with them like that too.
Wait, where did you
They
get a turkey
probably
leg
went
to
up-
begin with?
Up
It's all
on your
fish.
shoulders and being like, ang, ang.
So it's
That was last
not
This
night.
is where it's beginning.
it's not all fish. It's just fish is cheaper. So if you're willing to spend a little extra money, you can get just about anything. Waterdeep's actually a very urbane town. A lot of class in here. And now you have a little extra spending cash. So there you go.
Oh, so do we go to the bank and cash that in a little?
If
Once we know how much it's worth.
I will get you.
500. So we each get
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, but we don't know that that's what was promised. Casey's double checking it.
I will double check. I'm pretty sure it was 500, but I'll check back in on that one
Yeah.
and let you know. So if it's not, I'll let you know the right amount after that.
He'll let us have 500
I will
anyway.
let you- Yeah, you have 500. It might have been 1,000, but I was pretty sure it was 500. And so, where are y'all headed? It's a nice morning. You are invited to stop by the Lord and Lady's house anytime over the next 2 to 3 days. You've got some leads scattered about, and an enormous amount of debt that you have no real benefit from. But that I'm sure that'll be fine.
Won't be, but that's okay. Do we want to stop? Is the Lord and Lady's house on the way down to Grinda's?
It's a swing out of the way, but you can definitely manage it. So
Do we just want to do that? Stop by the Lord and Lady's house, and then go down to Grinda's place, or
I mean,
vice
I would rather
versa?
do Grinda's first so we don't have a bunch of cash on us.
sure,
Okay, that's fine.
got it. So
I want to go shopping later.
shopping is possible.
Clarity needs her special day.
I want to get some.
If I grab a fish taco on the way because I'm starting to get peckish, how much does that cost me?
Your coppers. I mean,
Oh,
Simone is
negligible
getting
amount.
hangry.
I've been out all night. I'm like, I need that, and I need your strongest coffee. Stat.
Not
The
a
dog
problem.
probably eats 5 fish tacos.
Does coffee exist in the D&D world?
Sure.
Sure, it has an equivalent.
Coffee and magic, but no latex.
I was just gonna say, you said there's no latex, but
Okay, so coffee is a bean that gets roasted. Latex is fancy stuff.
what about rubber?
Fancy stuff.
Rubber is
It's
a
also
plant.
fancy.
Rubber's comes out of a rubber plant. All right, so
but
hang on.
don't you have to process it?
I quit.
For certain kind of rubbers, yes.
Yeah.
But it's still an elastic polymer once it comes out of the plant, heats up.
Just thinking.
Let's all take a botany class.
Yep, let's all figure all this out. So,
Jamie's like, I'm gonna grow rubber plants.
It's my new
Rubber
thing.
pants! He
Rubber
has rubber
pants.
pants on.
Assless
Oh.
chaps.
I want rubber pants now. Ashley wears rubber pants.
I feel
I
I
like
feel like you would
love
go
that.
with his look
Am-
though.
Oh my
It
gosh.
kind
I
of
am
would.
rubber, you are glue. Everything bounces off of me and sticks to you. Ashley's new motto.
That's me.
oh dear. So
I always bounce back.
everything went black for a second. Give me a second, I'll fix that. There we go.
I will join you on the fish tacos, though. Just, I am hungry.
How many of us end up with food poisoning, Casey?
No, they're delicious. They're wonderful.
You gotta
Is
roll
this
a
even
tummy
cooked? I'm
check.
like taking the flakes, like moving the flakes. Is this cooked? I'm
found a bone.
not a fish
I found a
person.
bone.
I mean, are we in a bougie part of town? Are we like?
Okay, so you get some awesome ceviche. It's raw, but it's done up in sort of a lime juice. It is just amazing. And then you all get fantastically sick. But
Great.
Or can't pronounce ceviche.
I wanted fish tacos.
Yeah,
I
roll
wanted it
Constitution.
deep fried, all the bacteria gone.
Yeah.
Is it the
It's
tusks?
crunchy.
Can Ashley like magic treat it?
You're all fine.
Cool.
So,
I feel like Urk is eating worse.
wow.
Can I request a bio break?
Sure, let's do a quick bio break.
It won't take me that long.
Let's
Oh,
do
it's
let's do
your bio
2 to
break.
5 minutes. 2 to 5.
Can
2
do.
to 5. And while that's happening, I'm gonna push the buttons. Wah. Don't get too angry at your phone. They can see you emoting.
I'm not angry at my phone. I'm angry at my cat who's trying to rip a nail out of the wall with his teeth.
Okay, that's a weird thing for a cat to do, actually.
He does that all the time. There's a bulletin board that's hung up with nails, and he'll stand on the cat tree and try and rip the nails out of it. Bio break, more like cat break.
Cats are bio.
That's fair.
So I finally figured out why the name DeVille has been bothering me.
Cruella.
No, actually. I think of the Chipmunks every time I hear that there's a DeVille.
Yep.
Because Dave Seville was the father/owner of the Chipmunks.
Band manager?
Band manager, whatever he is.
Like Alvin?
Alvin,
Yeah.
Simon, Theodore. Brittany. Nope, I can't get the other two.
I don't know, but I was thinking of Chip and Dale when she said chipmunks.
Me too.
Chip, Dale, Gadget, Monterey Jack, Zipper.
Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor.
There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't want these things keeping you up at night.
It lingers up in there somewhere.
It does. It does. In the middle of the night, you just sit up straight in bed and go, Eleanor!
Yeah, that'll get me hit real hard.
Not even for it being another woman. It's just because you woke her.
Some from column A, some from column B.
Listen, if the snoring doesn't do it, nothing will.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure my cat's trying to see if she can fit inside of that bag with all the other stuff that's in there.
I believe in her.
If anyone can do it, she can.
I can make it fit. So, as everybody gets back in here, we are making our way onto Mistshore. Mistshore is a riotous assemblage of ramshackle homes made of wood from old ships and inhabited by the lowest class Waterdavians. Several of the buildings were recently reduced to ash by fire about a year ago. Some were rebuilt.
I thought you were going to say when we had that issue with the thief.
No.
The guy who was murdering people. Like,
no.
damn it!
This one was a little bit worse. This one, so if you happen to look over the map there, you can see some of the rubble that remains. So all them bitty bits right down there are where homes used to be, and now there's just some rubble. The majority of the houses were basically just rebuilt with whatever was around. Sailcloth makes up a large number of the roofs, and you can see down to the south here, this rather large ship is actually permanently beached at one point. It was reputed to be a pirate ship. The actual truth of that is unknown, but the Kraken's Folly is indeed a ship upon which a number of bandits hang out, willing to do just about anything for a gold piece. You want something done? They'll do it for you. Yagra actually hangs out here on occasion, and I believe this may have been one of the sites of a previous Happy Wife demonstration. But at the moment, it's a bit ghost towny, as the Zentarum are on the outs with the authorities. So those that are hanging about are the younger of the thugs, just looking to make a name and a gold, while the true thugs are out and about. Down towards the docks, here, is where the map indicates that Grinda should have an establishment. It is late morning. Children run about, chasing or chased by rats, depending on the size difference between them. What all are you doing as you walk in with your freshly fried fish tacos?
I'm chasing rats.
Hey, Padenka, you could be
Chasing rats
riding.
towards children.
Hey,
Chasing
Padenka,
children.
you could be riding one of those rats right now instead of that ugly dog.
Don't talk about him like that.
You're
Padenka
Very
knows-
beautiful to me.
Padenka knows enough to ignore Samo.
I was gonna say your bird's ugly, but it's not. It's really pretty.
Maybe like I'm gonna be pointing out all these rats, and we'll be like, "Oh, that one looks kind of similar to your dog."
And as you're kind of...
And that one looks like your face.
Hey, so...
Do
as
we have the chicken with us?
burns are spread about, is the chicken with you? I thought it was.
Chicken's always with me now.
Can I hold him? I'm gonna hold him over my head like Link does, and I'm gonna run towards the rats.
So on a more serious
Um.
note, I'm gonna have the Raven kind of scope out everything from above, see if it sees anything questionable,
Sure.
give
I'm
an
very
idea
serious
where
about this.
Grinda's place is, you know.
Because
So
apparently we're gonna die from some young thugs because we're messing about.
all these things could happen.
Chasing rats.
So Grinda's place seems to be over here, and the Raven reports back that, yep, it does look like a place. It's relatively intact, so whereas the rest have repairs made with sailcloth, this one looks like it's mostly been salvaged with wood and other such things. Smoke is coming up from inside, but it seems controlled because it's coming out a chimney. As compared to the pafts of smoke that still rise anytime someone brushes against one of the old buildings. Rats are hunted. You can do whatever you want to the wharf rats. The children, less so. If you decide to hunt a child, please let me know, as the authorities might be involved.
Still have that map on me from the Nimble, right?
Sure.
Okay. Does my Raven see anything? Nothing important.
Aside from what we described, that's basically what it's seeing.
So I'm gonna say to them, is like, I'm just gonna go knock on her door.
I think
We
if
got your
anyone's going
back.
to lead a conversation, it should be Simone or Padinka.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna be
Clarity.
concerned
I'm-
about Clarity running with my chicken, but I mean, like, if the chicken doesn't seem to mind,
Does the
that's
chicken mind?
Chicken's
Um,
like, I can fly.
So Ashley, I will turn over control of the chicken to you. I think you have a feel for
nice.
the
Okay.
chicken at this point. You may have him, her, it react as appropriate. I believe that recently it did convert itself to a rooster for you. It forced
Yes.
out the comb, and it did do the cockadoodle
crow.
for you in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, and every morning when it says cockadoodle doo, it really emphasizes that cock.
It's like
It just says cock.
Family
It literally is
friendly.
just cock.
Family friendly.
Compromise.
these
Does
are
this rooster have a name?
Cock. No, I actually did have a name written. I totally forgot what I was gonna go with for that. So
His
I
name is
had
Richard.
Richard.
Dick for short.
You can call me Dick.
We're mature. We're
Yep.
mature.
I'll figure out a name. So for now, I guess I'm still kind of getting to know my rooster friend. So, in the sense that you're picking him up, since he is a bit of a foul mouth, don't fucking pick me up.
I'm
Don't touch my
sorry.
fingers like that. I don't like when they go backwards.
I'm gonna gently set him down because I respect boundaries.
He's already a little mad from being thrown like a football.
Can I give him? I'm gonna. Can I give you a pet?
And he like shows his chest
I pet him.
because like they like their crops being rubbed. So
I just want him to
That's what it
say,
is.
"You can rub me anytime, baby."
Clarity stops immediately.
so it's like Simone kind of leans down and starts feeding lines to the rooster.
Padinka goes up and knocks on the door.
Padinka goes up and
You
knocks
guys,
on the door.
you guys aren't even by the door. I moved my character over there. I was waiting for
Oh,
you guys
I
to
haven't-
catch up.
sorry.
Yeah. So doors
I don't even
over
know if
on-
people
why-
can
that's why
hear
I
the
was
the
Messing
rooster.
around with you guys because I was so far ahead.
So doors over on that side there. You can go in either side. Either side works.
I'm gonna stand on the dock.
Sure.
Let's knock
Just-
on both doors at once.
Surround her.
So you start knocking on the door, and coming from inside, you hear, "Yeah, what?"
No, we got a map with your name on it. We don't know why.
Is it a treasure map?
Unfortunately, no, because you are the treasure.
You're supposed to say yes. You're the treasure. Not no. You're not a treasure.
Are you hitting on her?
Yeah, like that's what I'm like. Is that a come on? Like,
Is that a
I mean,
compliment?
does it
Is that-
work?
is that
I'm
an
just
insult?
expecting the rooster in the background just to start making some snarky remark at me.
I kind of picture it like the way that he crows is kind of like it's always like a cursing sound, but in terms of
Yeah.
actually talking, you don't actually understand him. Like
So-
only I can hear it, so he'll really just be
So-
like, "Don't touch me." But in fact,
So,
he's just kind of looks like he's mad.
Well, does he speak in a certain language?
I'm not sure if not what the mechanics are with that. I just figured it'd be funnier if it looks like you could tell he's not happy, but only I can hear him actually talking.
I was gonna say because I speak Infernal.
So mechanically for the audience, and by the way, hi Sin. Mechanically for the audience, this is an imp. The imp can take on forms. One of the forms that it chooses to take is one that resembles a chicken. So if you know chickens, this isn't a chicken. If you don't know chickens, it looks pretty convincing. Apparently, Clarity doesn't know chickens. So,
So
I didn't pay
I'm,
attention in biology class.
so back on semi point.
Yep.
So I'm gonna talk to Grinda and be like, "Do you have a few questions? We're from the Temple of Gaon. We had a few things come up on one of the things we're helping them with, and we had a few questions for you around that."
We heard you had a lobster.
Yeah, come on in. So Grinda opens the door, and as she does, she turns and kind of walks away from you, just sort of expecting you to come in. She opens both doors. And in the front room, you see some stuff. Grinda, the house is ramshackle. It's all made of bits and pieces that have been basically pried up from the docks and out of ships. The bed is unmade. The alchemist's laboratory that exists are mostly bottles that look like they've been recovered from drinking parties and other such things and filled with reagents. Some have been cut off, some have been broken, and flames burn under them. There's a small stove, a coat rack, a table, a stool, stuffed chair, poor condition, wash basin, and a wooden sea chest tucked away on the side. Perhaps a little more interesting, though, is the room she walks into has what looks quite a bit like a giant lobster in it. It's big enough to swallow a person whole, perhaps 3 or 4. Huge pinchery claws on the front, and odd little eye stalks up top. Grinda is working with it at the moment, and you can see bits of energy flashing back and forth between her hand and it. Now, what were you asking me about now?
Real quick, I can't see Grinda very well. What is her race?
Grinda is a human woman, a bit older. We'll say.
All right, so what I'm saying that
50s,
looks like
60s.
ears is like a cape or something.
Yes, that's a cape. She's got a big collar on. She's not quite in that outfit at the moment. She's in her work clothes, so the collar's turned down.
She's wearing her bunny slippers.
Bunny slippers.
I get it.
Well, that's a really big crab.
Well, it's not a crab, but what do you need?
Lobster. So I'm gonna be like, it's a lobster, Ashley, and I'm gonna pull out the map.
I don't like seafood.
We know.
Fish tacos.
We all know. You're still feeling those fish tacos. I'm gonna show her the map and be like, we found this on one of the devices from the Temple of God that we had to go and find. It looks like it had a map to your place. I just wanted to see if you had ever had any contact with any little wooden men looking devices. Or we would like to know. And
Have you had anything stolen recently?
or is there anyone who
I don't
might want to do something to you
think
or anything
so.
weird happen?
Can I see? And she like reaches out to see this thing that you're talking about, the map.
The map, yeah.
And she sort of takes and looks. Oh yeah, I give these out all the time. People want to go treasure hunting, and they can rent my apparatus here for a day.
How much?
Interesting.
Well, it depends on what you want to do with it and where you want to go. 20 gold will get you a tour of the bay. And more. If you're going treasure hunting, I take a percentage. If you want to do me some favor, we can work something out. You look like the adventurous type. You ready to go down?
I turned up and I go, can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it?
Go down.
Treasure.
Go down where?
Can I poke it?
Has anybody been here recently to treasure hunt with you?
We get folks in all the time. Let's see, and you can tell that the folks in all the time, blatant lie. But about a week back, we had some folks in.
Do you happen to remember their names or what they looked like?
And she goes over and kind of opens up a ledger, and she's like, there we are. Yes, was the Smiths. They were doing some adventuring, treasure recovery. Didn't came back with much, so they paid the 5 gold minimum.
Have any issues with anyone recently?
She's like, issue? No, solid as a rock. Dank, something falls off.
I'm going in.
I'm like, I didn't mean with your machine. I meant with other people and your treasure hunting.
Has anybody been bothering you? Do you have any competitors?
Well, I mean, it's the law of the sea. First come, first served down there. But let's see here. Trouble? I mean, the Smiths said they saw some sort of sea beast down there, but I didn't put much stock in it.
We're not going in that thing.
I would
think we
consider
should
this
go
a
in that
series.
thing.
See,
No,
I'm
we're
trying
not
to
going in
figure
the
out
thing.
if you're a
Clarity,
mini
I'll go.
game or if you're a part of the puzzle.
Urk is like poking Clarity, like, come on, come on, come on.
Clarity's like reaching into her coin purse, trying to like figure out how much she needs to give.
We're not going in the thing. We're
Can you
we're
tell me
not
more
going
about it?
in
How do you
Well, look,
get the
look.
treasure?
And she looks over at Ashley. If you're scared, you can sit up here. You know, we'll give you a nice cup of water, and maybe something to read or look at while your friends go
water.
down there, have the adventure of a lifetime, and come back rich as lords.
Yeah, if you're scared, why don't you sit down, Ashley?
Well, no, okay, I'm not scared.
Has anybody come back with
I've
any
never
fixed
gone in the
tours
ocean.
recently?
Oh yeah,
Ashley
all
can't
the time.
swim.
Lie.
Okay.
They
Can't swim.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shipwrecks, a lot of piracy. Once the loot hits the floor, it's fair game.
Once the loot hits the floor, it's not theirs no more.
Oh, that's catchy. I'm going to use that.
You're welcome.
I don't know, Simone, what do you think?
I'm game for going underwater, but I mean, like, I don't think it's gonna give us anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to why we're here. Is the thing. Like, why did
Only
the...
one way to
Why
find out.
did... So we found this map in the hands of a little automaton, and we're trying to figure out why he got it and how he got it.
Wasn't it in a? You said it was in a bunch of clothes, so it could have just been thrown in there.
It's
He
a
was holding
flyer,
it in
right?
his
He
hand.
was holding on to it like he wasn't supposed to let go of it.
I hate to say it.
Well,
I
how big
I
is this?
really don't want to go in the ocean, but whoever was there last time maybe has some sort of connection to that. Do you know where these people went when they were underwater?
Well, that's part of the service. If I don't go down with you, I just take a piece of the take. But they came up with basically nothing.
But you don't know where exactly they had gone when they went down? Like what areas they searched?
No, I can't tell you.
You said basic... Sorry, you said basically nothing. What did they come up with?
Seaweed.
Absolutely nothing or basically nothing? 'Cause
Oh, no, I
basically nothing means there was something.
Oh, you always come up with something, seashells and other such things. See, the way it works is, and she flips open the apparatus and starts kind of giving you the tour, and you got this lever here, this lever there, this one makes it goes forward, this one makes it goes backwards. Pinchers open, pinchers close. Once you close on something you want, you dump it in here, and she shows where there's kind of a basket, and if you're coming up a little short, you just dig down into the sand, dump that in there, and we shuffle it up when you come back. Sometimes you find something nice, nice oyster. Sometimes you get pearls. Sometimes you get the gold. Sometimes you don't.
It's a claw machine.
It's a claw machine. It is a claw machine.
Literally.
But Inka's writing notes about the mechanics of the machine and going, nipple clamps.
Nipple clamps.
Nigga's getting ideas.
So, despite the some of the tacked-on bits being a bit less than sturdy, the things that can fall off are basically accoutrements that were added later. The vehicle itself is very, very solid. It shows no sign of wear, tear, or any sort of damage, and it looks magically powered and held together, so you would expect it to be a fairly sturdy, and if it was engaged in combat, perhaps formidable vessel. But as she's describing it being used, you go down to the bottom, you scuttle around a bit, you fill up a basket, you come up, maybe you find something, maybe you don't. As for that sea monster, I think they just
Would we
Cool.
find?
It's
would
like
we
one
find
in a
something?
million, right? 1 in a million.
I'm in for going down.
I hand
this
her
doesn't
20 gold.
convince Ashley that it's safe at all, but
Okay,
Ashley's going
like
to go along.
as soon as 20 gold
Because
hit the
everyone bullied
table,
him.
as soon as 20 gold hit the table, Grinda's already in go mode. So she's like, all right, we're going to do the safety tour. Now, once you're underwater, it's very important you do not open the door. I can't stress that enough. Do not open the door while underwater. If you get in trouble, just go ahead and push this button right here. It'll bring you back up automatically. All you do is you hit that button and just wait. You'll come to the surface. Now, if you have a real problem, if somebody starts getting sick all over the place, you hit this button here. What's going to happen is you're going to feel real bad. Okay, the reason for that is it's going to open up a bunch of balloons. I don't know if you've ever seen a balloon, but a balloon underwater comes up real fast. So when you hit that button, it's going to push you to the floor, but you're going to find yourself on the surface in no time, okay? Other than that, here's forward, here's backward, here's side, here's claw, here's claw. Real easy. You're going to look through this little port right here, and that's going to show you what's going to... And she just goes through the whole tour and gives you instructions on how to operate.
Clarity's in it to win it.
Okay. Who else, if anyone else, is going in the device?
I'll go down.
Okay.
I'm leaving the dog at inside the house, though.
Ashley, I saw like your hand go up and then fall to the side. Did it give out on you halfway, or are you in?
Ashley's gonna. If everyone's gonna go, Ashley's gonna go. I can't be called a coward now, but I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be a little nervous.
Aw.
The chicken's like.
Is the chicken going?
Chicken's already in there.
Chicken's already, yeah. Chicken's in.
Aw.
The chicken is nested on Clarity's head.
You almost had the cat and the headset. I saw it. You had the cat, then you had the headset, and then you only had one of the two.
She's terrorizing things. So I had to hide them.
Gotcha.
It's the filter for the HVAC thing. I don't want her destroying that before it goes in.
Fair. Simone, are you... So the whole party's now piled into the apparatus. Simone, are you going in as well to go underwater?
Sure. Can my
Sure.
raven swim?
Your raven can blink out of existence and reappear somewhere later at a later time if it chooses. So
Okay.
that's sort of swimming.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Swim.
So
Swimming through time and space.
He also could keep my dog company because the dog's not coming in.
Sure.
Now, basically, as Grinda has laid out this concept, you're basically going to be spending the whole day down there. So she does, give you snacks for while you're down there and that sort of thing. So food, water, instructs you on how to use the pot if you need it, and away you go. Could I please have whoever has decided to pilot the vehicle?
That's me.
Okay.
Yep, I figured it was either you or Urk.
Okay. So, would you please make an investigation
I'm
check?
going to be piloting. By the way, I have an investigation of 6.
Too late.
Okay.
Good
So,
one.
Clarity is invested there. Clarity has rolled a 5 plus a 2 equals 7. You spend a whole day down there. You've made a bunch of scoops. You've made a bunch of things into the basket. You've moved around. You found, some of the best locations you could think of, where wrecks and things were. And when you come back and you go to unload, Grinda gives a look over. Oh, you did real well. She kind of sums everything up. I'd say what you found here probably worth a good 70 gold. I'll take it off your hands right now for 35.
Can I keep the seashells?
Oh yeah.
Are we persuading?
Do
or are
we know what we
intimidating?
found?
Sure. So you found coins. You found some oysters, some really nice shells, a bit of wreckage, locks, goods, all sorts of stuff. Is there anything in particular you're looking for in the pile? And this is baskets. Like, you filled up huge baskets with salvage. And she's now gone through it and, picked out, these are some metal bits, that's some iron, there's a little bit of silver. I think this has some, gold on it. A lot of it is just scrap. But she's given you an estimate of, probably got about 70 gold worth of odds and ends in here.
Paid 20 to go down.
You did.
We got $70 worth of stuff.
And this is all yours. You can
But
take it
you're
all
gonna-
with you.
You're
No,
gonna
hold
give
on.
us
Hold on.
35 for it?
Why did we pay 20 to go down? 20 is for the tour. It was free to go down, and you take a.
So you
take a
paid
cut.
20. So this is all yours. So this is all yours. And she gestures to the big pile of stuff. You can take this home with you right now. I think this is worth about 70 gold. So if you want to sell this to me, I'll pay you 35 for it. If you want to take it home with you, it's all yours.
So you walk out with 15 gold.
Clarity's just taking the seashells and just putting them one by one, in whatever she has. Her sack, probably.
We're all
Can
like,
I-
you just got
Piles.
scammed.
Yeah, we
Well,
did.
we could take it and try to sell it for 70 elsewhere.
Sure.
Well, can I just do can I do like an investigate check or something like that to see if there's any high value items in there that would be easy to
Yeah, I was gonna pull up like a sock and look at Urk and be like, sell
Or-
this for 70
or
I feel
gold.
like we should all do an
anything-
investigation check.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a few investigations.
Today.
Okay.
What I meant was Simone needed to do an investigation.
Today. I have a 4 and it gave me a 5 somehow.
So
We're all
I-
turning
I-
around
critical
looking
one.
the opposite way.
I think what's happening here is Simone is trying to evaluate the actual value of these things, whereas the rest of you are just latching on to nonsense and giving it huge emotional value. You're like,
Shiny.
this seashell looks just like my brother. This is worth, and you're just like, hundreds and hundreds of things that you've now piled up. Like, we can't sell this. This has emotional. Do you remember what we were saying when we picked this up? This is a memory. So
We're all clarity.
I feel like you've taken the things that could potentially have a few silver worth, assigned it a value of hundreds of platinum because of your emotional investment, and ruined the chance of selling this. So
Padinka's found like a jellyfish and she's poking it and going, huh, that could work.
Okay.
Creativity.
So
And it tingles when it's alive.
So Simone, yeah, 35 was probably a little bit on the low side, but at this point they've just ruined any negotiating you might do. They're monsters.
We're terrible, I'm sorry.
They're monsters.
Simone and her idiots.
But Grinda's like, well, if you want to come back and give it another try, if you want to go down, I've got some places that I could give you a tip off on. We split what you get back, or
So my intent was like so I didn't find anything of high value inside of there that would be worthwhile me taking home.
You found a few things. So you could take home basically some rusty swords, rusty daggers, that sort of stuff that could be cleaned up and then sold. And you could make back, probably 10 gold off of what you've found out of there. But they've claimed and assigned emotional needs to the other ones.
I'll just look at her and be like, we'll take the 35.
Well, if you're going to take the 35, I'm going to need that back, and that, and that, and take that out of your mouth.
But not the
Is
seashells,
Claire-
you said no.
Is Clarity allowed to keep the seashells?
Well, all but that one.
The rooster like pops something out of its mouth.
Okay, hey.
I'm just gonna shake my head and just be like, I'm really sorry if we made a mess. And I'm just gonna rub my forehead.
And-
If anything happens, let us know, because I don't want to share too much information, but part of our investigation that we're looking into started with some bad events. So if anything does happen to you, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna hand her one of Padinka's cards. I know this says happy wife, happy life on it, but like if you need to reach out to us for any reason, I want to leave you with a point of contact. But we really appreciate our time under sea. I think Clarity and everybody else definitely enjoyed themselves.
And Grinda's like, well, yeah, thank you. Compliments to your marketing team. I mean, and she gestures over to Clarity, who's been doing the rhyming, and she's like, the happy wife, this is good. Maybe I'll swing by and, see. And so Grinda's got the pile, and you can see some of the stuff is going in to be cooked. There was some animals and food in there and that sort of stuff.
Wait, hold on. You said there's animals in there? You didn't tell me that.
Like fish, like mollusks, starfish.
The things we had for
Oysters.
lunch.
Yeah, like you brought up a big scoop of ocean floor.
Is there a crab? Can I have a pet crab? Everybody's got a pet, and now I want one.
I mean, there were lots of crabs. I don't know that any of them are pet worthy.
Clarity has crabs.
Clarity, we'll go crab hunting later today and we'll catch you a crab.
Yeah. I mean, you could have.
We'll find you a pet, honey. Don't worry. You don't have to settle for a crab.
I'm gonna get a dragon.
You don't want to catch crabs. Just trust me on this.
Kadinka's an
I used to
expert.
do all that time at home.
I know, sweetie, but it's not a pet.
We lived like right up on like there was a beach down here, and then you'd go up, and there was the monastery, and we had a nice lighthouse,
Mhm.
and you know I would just
And
go down and
Kadinka's
catch
like
crabs all
guiding
over the
Clarity
town.
home as she's saying all this.
And like as that's all going on, Grinda's like, yeah. Well, if you like, I think there was something about a dragon, posted up, but it's probably nonsense. You might want to check with the Blackstaff Tower.
We have friends there, don't we?
I don't know.
Friends is a strong term for
And
that, but we have a contact. I'll say thank you very much for the information. We hope you have a lovely day, and you know, if you ever want to advertise at our tavern when we get it up and running, we'd be more than happy to help you out.
To work out a business deal.
And you can tell that whatever Grinda's got going on here, she's like skating by on that. Like whatever her passion project is, it's just keeping her above water. And you don't think she's got much in the way of coin to spend. But anything else you would like
Always
to
willing to help out a
There's always
new
a trade to be
entrepreneurship.
made.
I slip her 5 gold as a tip.
And that's 5 gold is gone. She's like, and she slides you back that shell that, like, on the
Hell
sly.
yeah.
as we're like kind of on our way out, my rooster does pick up that thing that it had in his mouth again and walks. It's shiny.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he takes it.
So the rooster's walking out with some miscellaneous shiny thing from deep in the sea. Perhaps that'll come back to haunt you later. But what would you like to do now?
So as we're walking out, I just want to do like a general check of the area to see if like I notice anything out of the ordinary, because I feel like we're missing something.
What time is it?
So you spent the whole day down there, so it's going towards evening again at this point. So you got here mid-morning, you went out, you had a nice lunch on the ocean floor, and then came back, and now it's probably not quite dark because she'd want to do a little maintenance on the machine before you got out, so we'll say dinner time-ish.
Casey, was the map did the map have anything other than her name on it? Was there like a notation other than that might have been not original to her?
Give me a quick investigation on that.
Investigation. Wow,
Yeah.
Bedin can finally notice something.
So, no, it's just the outline leading to it, and the Grinda. No, I mean, as far as marketing material goes, this is crap. Like, there's no indication of what service she offers. It looks like it was written in haste, and probably only works for whoever she was handing it to at the time, because it shows a path from one spot to here. Oh, can't hear you.
Where's the originating spot?
Oh, the originating spot happens to be Growlhund Manor.
Growl Hunt?
Hund.
That would Growlhund
We were
was
there the other day, weren't we?
yeah, that's where the nobles that we just saved lived. That might be the Smiths.
So let's go to Growlhund Manor.
Let's find the Smiths.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I'm just like jangling along with all these seashells.
So it is dinner time, late evening. You are paying call on the Lord and Lady?
Yes, so long as
Yeah.
there are no guardsmen around, no town guard.
There are quite a number of guards folk around, and could I have a insight check from the party? Whoever would like to roll an insight for me.
Who's
I
got
think I have +5 on insight.
That's better than me.
Yeah, I have 5 on insight.
Go for it.
I'm assuming we were boosting her.
Yes. I think
No, like
Clarity,
kind of throwing her
Clarity's
up
just
above.
got like the shell to her ear and is listening to the sound of the ocean, and somebody reaches over and takes that away from her. But you realize as you're approaching the villa that there's a lot of gossip going on. There's a lot of people talking. Many folks discussing the recent trouble with the Zentarum and sort of talking about, oh, look, there's the guard. They must have posted up at the villa after the attack. It sounds like the Black Network, which everyone kind of knows about, has gone a bit aggressive recently and assaulted some nobles. People will hang for this. Members of the household and the family are dead. The Lord and the Lady themselves were assaulted. Things were stolen from the manor. There's been some arrests, and they cleared out the dock ward entirely. False. Are you heading up despite all this?
I
No,
don't
I
think it's
think-
a good idea.
I think we need to maybe go see the Black Staff before we turn in, and then about dragons, and then we can
Come back
call it
later.
a day. Yeah.
Sure. So instead of heading into the villa, you make your way over to see the Blackstaff, and now I need to flip areas, so excuse me 1 second here.
So I just have a question here.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'll say this to the group. We were gonna go back, find out some more information on Erstal, and we still have no clue what happened to that item that was stolen.
Right.
What are we gonna do, guys? Like, this is getting away from us right now.
I realize that, but I don't know what other clues to follow than what we have in front of us, and we can't just go barge in while the guard's there. We were told expressly not to do that. So, although it feels like we're just letting it go, I think patience in this case will pay off more than boldly and aggressively pursuing it.
I get it. Just, I mean, more and more time we spend, I don't know where this is all going to lead us. But yeah, you're right. Let's just wait until these guards are gone, and we'll come back.
Sounds good. So, it's getting a little late in the day. You grab a few more handfuls of street food as you're making your way to see the Blackstaff. Now, it's not usual to be able to walk into a building and say, "Can I see the boss?" and have the boss show up. But you've done a favor recently, and so when you ask for her, arrangements are made, and she calls you in after only half an hour to 45 minutes wait. She gestures you into the room as you come in. I only have a few minutes, and I hope you understand you're using up your favor, so I hope whatever you have to talk to me about is important. Vara is an efficient woman.
I'm sorry. Before we got to the Black Staff, I thought Grinda said it was posted at the Black Staffs, so we could go look at the posting, not so we
okay.
could
I
just
apologize.
walk
Yeah.
in and be like, "Hey, Black Staff,
Okay.
come
we take
see
it
us
back?
for no reason."
Yeah, I figured
Roll
it
that
would
one
be
back.
like at the front desk or something. We'd be like, "Hey, what
Yeah.
about this dragon?"
Like we're
The
not
bulletin board.
trying to see the Black Staff.
Got it. Sorry, I misinterpreted the words. So instead, you go take a look at Blackstaff Tower over at the Castle Ward and make your way around. And you do notice sort of a job board or requests posted up, most of which are, "Could you please go and find me one of these things?" And there are a lot of assorted a mushroom that looks like this, a entirely blue bluebird, that sort of thing. But amongst them, you do see a post that's placed up. Denizens of the realm have expressed concern that a dragon might be in the area of Waterdeep. The Blackstaff is seeking adventurers to investigate.
We're adventurers.
Okay. Well,
What if it's the same dragon?
Is this the same dragon? That's what I was gonna say.
The same dragon.
that we shoot off from the little.
These could be. So
instead of asking for the Blackstaff,
sure.
I would check in with the front desk and just be like, "Who do we talk to about this job?"
Sure. So as you ask, who do we talk to about this job? The front desk says, well, what we've heard is that a young bronze dragon has taken up residence in Deepwater Harbor, just over there. Startled a few sailors recently, but hasn't hurt anyone. We'd like to know what its intentions are. And the lords and ladies of Waterdeep, if they approach it, that's complicated. If a group of adventurers goes and asks what its business is and reports back, that's simple. That's what we'd like you to do.
So my
Hey,
monastery
Claire,
was the
did-
bronze dragon.
Say it again. Say it again.
I said the monastery that I made up is the monastery of the bronze dragon.
I believe you.
So I think I got this handled.
There.
It sounds like we'd be interested in looking into this matter for you.
Excellent. Well, what we would need is someone to go out and talk to the dragon, find out what it intends and reports back. It has not been surfacing recently. It's been dwelling beneath the waves. So long as you can handle that, we'll be happy to commission you for the job.
Hey guys, didn't she just say that there was a big monster in the water?
Yep.
Yep. And I'm wondering if
Betting it
we
was the
had
dragon.
investigated in different places if we had run into it. What's the
Can't seem
reward
to catch this
for
goose.
this job?
And she sort of tracks down. Well, if the dragon is friendly and you report back truthfully, and you are able to resolve that it will be moving on, the reward is 150 gold per person involved, up to a limit of 10 people. If the dragon is hostile and you report back successfully, you're paid an additional 150 gold, hazard pay. If you cause a dragon attack on the city, you're likely to have been dead, but there will of course be no reward.
Right. And that's 150 hazard pay per person?
150 hazard pay per person.
If it goes south, you mean?
If the dragon is hostile, we wouldn't expect it to be. The metallic dragons have not had trouble with this city in years. And you're aware in general, metallic dragons are good, chromatic dragons are evil, so gold, silver, bronze, brass, good.
Okay.
Black, red, green, white, something else, bad.
Blue?
Is it common knowledge like what each dragon kind of stands for?
Yes, in a simplified fashion.
Okay.
So everybody knows green dragons mean poison in the forest, white dragons mean ice in the far north, red dragons mean fire death, black dragons mean acid death, and whichever one I've left out, blue again mean lightning death.
But it would be like more like their traits, like what they're almost like kind of morals are, I guess you could say.
Bring them?
Um,
So I think we know somebody who knows something about dragons. Maybe we can work with her
sure.
Yeah, we
to
definitely
figure
have
that out.
her right here.
So, absolutely. Now, you are aware that profiling dragons is like profiling the other races of this is going to be an uncomfortable phrase, but racial profiling is accurate for en masse, not for an individual. So elves are long-lived and generally live in the forest. Drow generally live underground. Dwarves generally live in the mountains or in the hills. Dragons have those sorts of things, but an individual dragon can do whatever the heck it pleases. So you can kind of work with it from there.
Just because it's a bronze dragon doesn't mean it's not a dick.
That's very true. And there are all sorts of stories on both sides of the fence for that one. But you know that generally a bronze dragon is going to look something like that.
Pretty.
Yeah, oh, nice. And there is said to be one hanging out in the harbor, and they'd like to know what's going on there. So
I'm assuming we're going to be wrapping up soon, but one of the things I'd like to ask for through Urk is, based on the fact that this lord and lady was underground or underwater or whatever, saw this water beast and everything else, and the Zhentarim are kind of agitated, it might be worthwhile knowing if there's any information she can share about that, Urk. So that way we can at least understand context, because it sounds like there's some overlapping themes here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm assuming, are we going back to the tavern to have these conversations, or
Yeah,
does anyone have a reason to stay
it's
out?
the end of the day, and this trip, what if we do take another trip, it's going to take another all day sort of thing. So I think, storyline wise, it makes sense for us to go rest up and then.
Yeah, Simone's kind of like dragging her heels and being like, looking at Urk and going like, I'm going to try to walk home, but if I fall over, be gentle when you carry me.
Simone is running on 0 hours of
He
sleep.
would literally toss her over his shoulder, like, gentle.
So, as I start making plans for next session, what is the order of events you're expecting to go for tomorrow morning? What are the plans? Where would you like to visit, in what order, do you think?
So I think first we might want to talk with Clarity about bronze dragons. Because they have, a certain temperament. I guess across. That's what when I used to be looking up, of course, dragons before.
Sure.
They do have certain things that they kind of stand for, like justice and order for the bronze dragons, at least. So there's something that kind of goes along with that. So I'm trying to think of what sort of connection that might have to what's going on in the harbor, why it might be there. But then after that, I guess we would have to go find out the connection of what the Smiths were doing down in the water while there's a dragon nearby.
Yeah, I think if we walked by the Smiths, to see if there's guards there, and if there's guards there, we just keep walking, and then but if we can stop in and just chat real quick, we can.
Okay. So
I'll make
I'm
a
thinking.
PowerPoint
I'm
connection.
also saying the Yagra connection that we have to the Zhentarims, because there's something there. And now that we're seeing the guards posted outside, like, something's going on. She may not have all of the information, but her or Astrid may know something.
sounds good. So we'll check in with Yagra. We'll swing by and talk to Lord and Lady Growlhund. Anywhere else that we're stopping by before it sounds like we're heading back to Grinda to head into the water once more?
On our way back home, we're doing the bank to pick up the coins,
Okay.
so that we can deal with them as we want. Does anybody need to do shopping before we do this?
I just wanted to get something nice.
I want to get some books for the library.
Okay. What
Okay,
are
well
you
maybe that's like that might not be something we have to do right away. So
have to have the books right now.
There's nothing in the library. I sleep in the library. It's kind of sad. I have like my little notebook, and that's about it.
So good news there. The Troll Skull Manor is located in Troll Skull Alley, and in Troll Skull Alley there is a Dragonborn who runs a bookstore who is happy to sell you many books to fill your library.
That's great.
Books are expensive,
Oh.
so please be aware that a book is a pricey item. I believe somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 gold.
Okay. But like, could there be books on things that like I want to work on? That's kind of like what I'm talking about. Like on our days off, like when because I can restore everything with a short rest. I could spend that extra time kind of researching things.
I mean, you still need to sleep, but I think you still need to sleep, I believe. But other than that, sure. 25 gold pieces for a book. And yes, you can definitely acquire books on all sorts of stuff. If you actually want to learn a new mechanical skill, meaning you wanted to learn brewer's tools and you didn't have it, there is a cost and a number of days for that, and I want to say it's something like 150 and 150 that you could definitely work on. But other books you could have for reference, and for each one you buy, please pick a title, and then if you ever need to research something that relates to that title in a reasonable fashion, you can take advantage on your research there. So if you would happen to have bought the Lords of Waterdeep, and then as a book, very nice, excellent, thick book, lots of names in it, and then need to know the name of a particular lord from a particular year, you would have a place to go look it up without having to go out to a library external. So we will start to wrap it up from there. Congratulations, everybody. You have been successfully following the trails of clues throughout Waterdeep. Maybe some of them were on point, maybe not. Good.
Sorry, I have a question for anyone. We just all got 100 gold pieces per person. If you're going to put anything into that house fund, into the safe, please let me know so I can keep track of it.
Yeah, I'll take 25 of my 100. I'll put 25 in.
I'll do that too.
Same.
So that'll
Sounds good.
be adding 75 to my business there.
I'll probably put like 100 in it and keep 50.
You only have 100 that we just got.
I had money before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm at 128.
I thought, yeah, because we each got 100, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's, whatever. The 150
Yeah.
was for the other thing. I'm really tired.
That's all right. So we will wrap it up from here. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, everybody out there in Twitch for stopping by. And everybody wave 5, 4, 3, 2...